Hello and welcome back to the Linux Panic YouTube channel. In this video, we're going to go over how easy is it to install Microsoft software on Linux natively. But first, don't forget to click the like and subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Anyway, so we're going to begin with the natively supported Microsoft software on Linux. So for example here, we will be using Microsoft Teams, we'll be downloading and installing Skype, and we'll be installing Visual Studio Code. Now, as we can see, I already have all of the packages necessary to install them. Microsoft provides them as deb packages and RPM packages. From what I've already tested, they don't work with any other variation of Linux without having to run them through Wine. So we're just going to be using Ubuntu for this video. So now, once you've downloaded your your installers from the necessary websites, for instance, Skype, we'll start with Skype first. It is just as easy as just once it's downloading, give it a quick double click, and then you should be off to the races. Now, it is Microsoft after all, so there is a chance this might not work straight away, but it's Microsoft. That's really no surprise. So here we are. It just a little pop-up box that came up, and now it's saying, "Hey, look, do you want to install it?" The answer is yes. Give it your password, and then it should just install just like that. Now, of course, this will depend on how long it'll take to install. Does depend on your system specs and your internet and what hardware you're running. So now this has been allegedly installed. Let's give it a quick check. Okay. I don't know why it's trying to open Discord. I don't have Discord installed on this. Right. Skype. And there we go. Skype is downloaded and installed. We'll sign into that later. Next thing we want to do is see how Microsoft Teams works. Now this one should just work, whether it will or not. And of course, here we go. This never gets updated because it is, of course, proprietary, and the source should say here Microsoft. But I don't know why it doesn't. Microsoft, you need to make that better. And here we go. This installs so much faster than it does on Windows because it's Linux. It's just so much easier to install things on Linux, and of course, the only time Microsoft software is good is when it's not on Microsoft. No, it's not when it's not running through a Microsoft piece of software like Windows, for example. So now we've got Teams installed. We'll just install Visual Studio Code. Now, the reason why I chose this is because people might like to try out Visual Studio Code as a prerequisite for moving across to Linux. People use Visual Studio Code for all sorts of programming stuff, so it makes sense to give it a try as well. That's installed. We'll just give it a quick check. We'll just go Visual Studio Code, and voila, that opens so much faster than it does on Windows. It is insane. Problem solved. Just give it a quick save to the documents. And did it work? Well, let's find out, shall we? We'll just go Documents. And there we go. It worked. So let's give a quick look to Skype. We'll just do this. And wouldn't you know it, Skype works. It just works straight away. Of course, I haven't logged in to Skype in a while, so I've just shush it off. Now, let's give Microsoft Teams a look, shall we? Because I don't actually know what Teams looks like, and I know from Linus Tech Tips when he was doing the Microsoft Teams thing, that sometimes he did have an issue with it. But time will tell for this one. At outlook.com. Microsoft is gonna do this thing of, hey, do you have yada yada yada? Nope. 4853 Would definitely help if I could type, wouldn't it? There we go. I am limited on what other software I can check, can test, because I'm not going to give Microsoft any more money than I have to. And I haven't given them any money, so I'm not going to give them any money. Because to test any more software, means I've got to have to spend... Well, there we go. So they're trying to catch me up by saying, oh, this doesn't work, so you've got to use our web browser thing. Which, of course, is typical Microsoft. You already have my phone number. Why are you trying to get me to give it to you again? Typical Microsoft stuff. Doesn't want to work. So anyway, this is... It just works. There is other software that I could try, but I'm not going to fork out the money to give to Microsoft, because Microsoft already earns enough money each year from just siphoning it off other people, so why do they need any more? Especially from me. So this is the end of the video. Like I said, the software just runs, it installs, it runs perfectly fine. But first, before we finish the video, I'd like to thank the 50 people that have subscribed. That's a huge milestone. We reached 1,000 viewers, or 1,000 total views on my Ubuntu 7.0 wine install video. I'll stick a card to that in the top right hand corner somewhere. Anyway, to those of whom are watching, I'd like to thank you very much for watching. I'd like to thank my patrons, Raining Hazmat and Ashley, for being subscribed over at Patreon. Anyway, I have been Nick. You have been amazing. Thank you very much. Goodbye.